Q&A 2025. Yes, it's here. Hello and welcome to another Q&A, where I answer questions from the strange people who watch my videos. um, all right, I'll go to my channel and look at the questions, see what we've got. Oh, quite a few. Oh, bloody hell. We're here all fucking year by the look of it. Anyway. First question, a bunch of them from Time for Teletubbies fan. Says it's his favourite time of the year. That's really quite sad, but okay. Okay, he's got 5 questions. Number 1. If Chris Marshall was cast as the 13th Doctor and not Jodie, and it was all the same with the Timeless Child, etc., would you still watch? Well, I would have carried on watching the first season, obviously. I mean, they didn't put... Of course, once they pulled that Timeless Child crap at the end of the second season, I would probably have been out. But, I mean... Why wouldn't I have kept watching with Chris Marshall? He's a guy playing a male character. A wacky notion in today's world, I know. 2... If the rumours about Doctor Who being axed and then it comes back in 5 to 10 years, what would it have to do to get you to watch? Well, that's a bit more of a difficult question because I'm out and I've been out for coming up to 8 years now. It would take a freaking miracle, frankly, because at this point, I'm pretty much done with New Who in general, not just the last 8 years. I'm pretty much classic only at this point. The absolute bare minimum would be to retcon the last 7 years out of existence. To throw this gender-bending crap out, and this Timeless Child crap, and all the rest of it, and retcon Jodie and Fruity out of existence. That's the bare minimum. More realistically... Honestly, I'd want to start again with a proper sequel to Classic, a new 8th Doctor. Probably no offence to McGann, but he never did anything anyway, and the TV movie crap was crap and led to New Who. And a proper Doctor-y Doctor and a series of serials, so it's never going to happen, so I really don't have much interest in it going forward, really, because it's not going to go forward in any way that's acceptable to me, so whatever. Will you be watching the new 28 year later movie in June when it gets premiered? Well, not when it gets premiered. I'll probably catch it eventually. At the moment, I'm like a freaking 45-minute bus ride away from any cinemas, so no. Eventually, as long as it gets good reviews, but it's going to be a while. Says, I'm thinking about watching Star Trek. Where is best to start? I presume that's if you haven't seen it. Well, I don't know. I mean, you could try starting from the beginning. Personally, I'd probably start from the movies, the original movies. Watch the original cast movies and then go into Next Generation. Whether you would want to go back to the original series would depend on your taste/tolerance for like campy 60s American shows. But I think you could do worse than start with the original cast movies. 5. What's your favourite horror movie and why? I'm sure I've said this about 5 billion times. It's the 1974 Black Christmas. Because it's awesome. More questions, this time from another sci-fi guy. Where do babies come from? The stork, obviously. What do you think of the movie Christine? It's alright. Honestly, I'm not a massive fan. I don't think it's one of Carpenter's best necessarily. It's okay. How would you rank the Doctors from worst to best? I don't know. I mean, do you count Are you counting the new Pooh ones? Because if you're counting classic, in reverse, I'd go Davison, Colin, Hartnell, Pertwee, McCoy, Troughton, and Tom. Adrian Burrows has a few more questions. He says, are you a fan of the Jerry Anderson shows? And if so, will you do reviews for them? No, I'm not. I've never really seen any of them, I'm afraid. So, probably not. Have you seen any of the TV series Gotham or Pennyworth? I've not seen any of Pennyworth. I've seen 3 and something seasons of Gotham. It was okay. Maybe I binge watched it in too much in quick succession because it kind of started getting on my tits in early season 4, and I kind of drifted off and have not seen any of it since. It was all right. Would you do British classic comedy reviews like Only Fools and Horses, Faulty Towers, Dad's Army, etc.? Well, it's I don't know. It's not impossible. I mean, I've done some like overviews of stuff like Whatever Happened to the Likely Lads. Only Fools and Horses, Faulty Towers, maybe. I've not really seen any of Dad's Army. It's not impossible. Matthew Willis has another bunch of questions. What is your breed of dog and what is its name? He's a Maltese Shih Tzu cross and he's called Charlie. He's my little Charlie.
And I'm just going to need a little bit to pay the publishing costs.
How do you expect to translate it?
With these.
Cute, yeah.
Rocks?
They're not rocks.
He's a
They're
cute.
seer stones, given to me by an angel.
Yeah.
With them, God allows me to translate the plates into English.
I have the golden plates here in this hat. I need to have them somewhere dark so I can read the spiritual light.
It's
When I
cute.
put these plates into the hat, the ancient letters light up and change to English.
You my doggy, eh?
Oh, I'm seeing the light.
He's lovely.
Okay, write this down. Christ appeared before the Nephites.
2. What are your top 3 favourite Hammer horror films? I'd say Satanic Rites of Dracula, possibly Scars of Dracula, and The Vampire Lovers, for obvious reasons. 3. Peter Cushing or Christopher Lee? Peter Cushing. 4. What is your favourite rom-com or romance film? Well, those are 2 different questions, I guess. Because you can be a romance film without necessarily being a rom-com. If you're looking rom-com, I'd probably have to say Debs, honestly. Because I love Debs. And if you're talking romance film, I'd probably say Show Me Love. Spot the things in common there. 5. Who is your favourite Scream Queen, past or present? Ooh. That's a juicy one. Jill Schoelen. From The Stepfather and Popcorn and various other things. Very underappreciated. She was great and she was freaking gorgeous as well. And 6, all-time favourite Doctor Who story. Ooh, I don't know. Oh, that's a... Shada. It's Tom, it's Lala, it's Douglas Adams. It stands out because of, obviously, the behind-the-scenes kerfuffles. And it's just a lot of fun. Doug's Film TV has some more questions. What are your thoughts on Eccleston and Piper reuniting for Big Finish? Not very much. I mean, I guess it shows that there was no enmity between them. Then again, we kind of knew that anyway because they've been on stage together anyway, haven't they? We know who Eccleston has got enmity for. I mean, I don't really care. I don't really care about Big Finish, no, to be honest. 2, could you see a Big Finish audio story with Eccleston, Tennant and Piper? Well, Tennant will pretty much do anything, providing you chuck money at him, so I guess so. I don't know what Eccleston thinks of Tennant. I've not heard him say anything about him. Probably still don't think much to him, but then again, who does? 3, if you have to move to the US, what state would you want to live in? Oh, I don't know. I've no idea. Texas. I don't know. I've no idea. 4, what year did you move to Australia and what was your reason for moving there? It was 1991 and I was 16, so I moved with my family, dude. They moved, so I did. 5, have you seen Collateral? With Billy Piper, John Sim and Carey Mulligan in it? No, I've never heard of it. The only Collateral I know is the one with Tom Cruise in it, where he's the bad guy. That's the only Collateral I've ever heard of. Fadi Kuri has some more questions. What ideas for Doctor Who did you have as a kid? None, really. If you were to write for the show, would you dare put it on screen? Well, if I was writing for it, then I presume somebody else would be putting it on screen, wouldn't they? If you could meet one Doctor Who producer, writer, script editor, director at any point, who and when would it be? Don't have to do all of them. I don't know. Graham Williams, Bob Holmes, Douglas Adams, and Dougie Camfield, I guess. Do you know Lynn Frederick, and would she have made a good Romana? I've never heard of her. Let me do a Google. Oh, that's unfortunate. Passed away. And I don't know her. She's cute. I don't recognise the face. I guess she looks sort of Romana-esque, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know her. What's your ideal pub food? Ploughman's Lunch. Sally Wagenblatt has some more questions. 3 questions, she says. What do you think about Neighbours getting cancelled for a second time? You know what's funny? I've not thought about Neighbours for ages, and I've not looked at anything about it for ages. And I think it was like last Friday, I just kind of suddenly thought to myself, is that thing actually still on Amazon Prime? And I kind of looked it up and it looked like it was, and I'm like, wow, amazing. And then literally 2 days later, I'm watching Who's Views, and who should come up in the chat but you, Sally Wagenblatt, saying that it's been axed again. I just can't believe it's still going, and they're still trying to shop around for somebody else now. It's like, why? Let it go, for God's sake. Should have been canned 20 years ago, and that's being generous. In hell, man. Let it go. I don't think that's... I mean, for God's sake, man, it's done. I mean, it clearly hasn't been doing well for Amazon, has it? I mean, it's a fucking cheap-ass fucking show. It's been on there, what, less than 2 years, and they're already canning it? Let it go. Can proper Doctor Who ever be brought back? It could, but it won't, because too many egos would be bruised if they did. And a different type of question: would you ever consider showing your face, or to prefer to remain a mystery? I prefer to remain an enigma wrapped in a riddle, wrapped in a mystery. Nobody wants to see that. What the hell does that say? Nuckritic has several questions. Have you or do you plan to watch any of the following shows? Oh boy. 1. Sons of Anarchy. No. 2. Peaky Blinders. No. 3. Breaking Bad. I think I watched like the first episode and a half, and it was fine, but I just didn't particularly feel like sitting through 5 seasons of it. 4. The Wire. No. 5. Orphan Black. Again, I think I watched an episode or so back in the day. It didn't really do anything for me. 6. 24. I've seen all of 24. I've got all of 24 apart from the spin-off with Sans Kiefer Sutherland, which was like, why? So I've seen all of 24. Watched it back in the day. 7. Westworld. No, not really. 8. Bones. I actually tried Bones. I actually got the season 1 box set cheap a few weeks back. I've seen about 4 episodes and it's just not doing it for me. I'm finding the characters irritating, to be honest. You know, I mean, I wasn't expecting that much. I wasn't expecting like elementary level, but I would have been happy for like the mentalist level. And I don't know, maybe it gets better, but those first 4 episodes were not doing it for me, dude. And I found the characters really irritating. 9. Vikings. No. 10. Supernatural. Again, I've tried that again recently, and like back in the day, I couldn't get past the first episode. I just found it really annoying and lame. Craig Tucker says, what remaining Doctor Who collection box sets are you looking forward to being released? Well, I don't know. 13 and 16, I guess. Obviously, for Tom. Season 6, it would be nice to get some freaking Pat on Blu-ray. I think the only one we've got on Blu-ray is Web of Fear, isn't it? Which kind of sucks. Mark McCambridge has a bunch of questions. How are you feeling? Tired. I don't know if you can tell, there's slightly low energy this video. I'm feeling tired. You ever watch Dallas or Dynasty or any of those classic 80s soap operas? I never watched Dallas or Dynasty. The one kind of big US 80s soap that I did watch was Falcon Crest. I remember watching Falcon Crest as a kid. With Jane Wyman and Robert Foxworth was in it. John Saxon was in it at a point too, from Black Christmas and Elm Street. I haven't seen that show for a very long time. I think ITV stopped showing it in the late 80s. I don't think they carried on. As far as I'm aware, it ran on into the mid-90s. And I think they stopped showing it at some point in the late 80s. The only thing I really remember about it now was that one season where they had the David Selby character become part of like this secret organization. It was like the Illuminati or something. And there's a dream sequence in it where the head guy kind of rips off his mask and is a demon underneath. That's and the thing that stuck in my mind even as a kid was that the head guy of this secret Illuminati thing was the Benson replacement from Soap. I think the actor's name was Roscoe Lee Brown, unless I'm making that up. But that has always amused me that he was the bad guy in it. It was like the Benson replacement in Soap. Can you? Thoughts on Torchwood? Have you ever watched it? Are you a fan of it? No, I watched about 5 episodes of it from the first season back in like 2006, when Australia was like 6 months behind it with everything, and I ordered like the first ones of season 2 of Doctor Who, and I ordered Torchwood, and I thought it was absolutely ghastly. And that was it for me with Torchwood. So no, I'm not a fan of it. Can you stand on your head? No. Do you miss Australia? Ooh. Kind of. A little bit. Maybe. I was not impressed with the winter weather. I'm still not impressed with it because it's still technically winter. It's still bloody cold in the morning. And I miss iced coffee. I miss proper iced coffees. I've managed to find a couple of ones I don't mind over here, but my God, the first few weeks in the UK, the first thing was I cannot find a decent iced coffee to save my in life, dude. I finally found a couple that I liked in Arctic Mocha and the Marks and Spencer's lattes. They're gorgeous. They're the best, I think, and they're the closest to what like you get regular in Australia. The sizes down here are kind of shite as well. I mean, you can get like the 1 litre ones, but you can't get 2 litre ones, and the standard ones for like just a standard drink are like they're almost always 600 ml in Australia, and they're like 300 a lot of them down here. It's like, hello, I want a freaking drink, not a sip. I don't know. It's a weird deal, dude, being an expat. Because either way, you're screwed. You get used to certain things in both countries, and then you're screwed when you leave one for the other. I don't know. You can't win. What's 2 plus 2? 22, obviously. Will you ever consider Genesis of the Daleks as the greatest Dalek story ever? No, probably not. What would you do if you were the ruler of the UK? I'm not answering that on the grounds that I would be banned. Do you have any favourite Target novelisations? Not really, apart from maybe like the Auton Invasion, which was one of the earliest I ever read as a kid, and I've got a copy of the original because it's the original paperback because it was a hand-me-down from an older brother, so that's kind of cool. What the hell? Can you read this backwards? Yes, I can. Can you repeat the answers from the beginning again, please? No. Tried any new Big Finish? No. Will you do reviews on other classic science fiction shows? Well, I might do some more reviews on Red Dwarf, perhaps. I don't know about what else. I've tried Blake 7. I actually bought the Blu-ray. I'm kind of drifting off halfway through the season. I'm just not that into it. You ever watched The Sweeney? Yes, I've got the Sweeney box set on DVD. I think I kind of drifted off again at some point. I did watch the first 2 seasons. I think I was either mid-season 2 or mid-season 3. I kind of drifted off. Did you get it wet? Yes. Did you feed it after midnight? Yes. Did you leave it in direct sunlight? Obviously. Favourite horror anthology films? I think probably my favourite horror anthology film is Cat's Eye, the Stephen King anthology from the mid-80s. I know all the 80s horror fans tend to go to Creep Show. I don't know, maybe because I didn't see it at the time, but I've never been that big on that. I love Cat's Eye though. Cat's Eye's awesome. I think it's darkly funny. It's creepy. I love all of the stories, particularly the opening one with James Woods and the mob. The mob trying to persuade people to stop smoking. That's hilariously dark. I love Cat's Eye. After that, I don't know. Asylum, maybe. The Amicus one. And maybe the Amicus Tales from the Crypt. But my absolute favourite would be Cat's Eye, I think. If you had to choose your favourite Pertwee, which one would it be? Minus Inferno. Spearhead. Spearhead, then. I absolutely adore Spearhead from space. What do you Paul Lennon, I think it says. What do you reckon to living in the UK? It's okay. I'm not massively impressed, but I'm not massively. It's okay. It's perfectly all right where I live. It's a bit boring. And it's too far to bloody get to the pictures round here. Getting half an hour to 50 minutes on a bus. No thanks. Not that there's a hell of a lot worth seeing these days, but that's beside the point. And Graham McKay says, have you managed to adjust to life back in the UK? Or are you, well, oh my God, I've answered this about 3 times. Or are you missing Australia? I don't know, half and half. Half and half. I'm kind of bored. I don't miss the North Queensland bloody weather. I don't know if you've seen it on telly lately, where bloody floods. That's round about where I were and all. And floods and power cuts. Yeah, I had a 3-day power cut last year in the middle of summer. It nearly bloody killed me. So I don't miss that. I wouldn't go back to North Queensland, let's put it like that. South Australia, maybe. Cause I've not lived there since 2012 anyway. And the prices are getting insane. I don't know, really. At the moment, I've only just fucking got here. At the moment, I am not saying that I'm staying here forever, but I don't know. I'm not in any particular rush to go anywhere yet. I don't know. It's a lot of hassle, man. It is a lot of hassle. Anyway, that looks about it. So I think it's more or less the same. This has come to more or less the same length as previous ones, which is good. I hope you enjoyed my low energy answers. I'm sorry, I'm tired. I'm buggered. The weather's annoying me at the moment, because it's just getting to that point where it's not quite cold enough to have the fire on, and yet at the same time you don't have it on, and it's still bloody cold enough. So it's kind of annoying, and I'm kind of buggered. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.